Hi everyone, I'm Miss Kumu. Today I'll be presenting the results for pre-university learners' writing apprehension levels and their writing quality. Let's see the slides. The findings revealed that 30% of the learners experienced high level of second language writing apprehension while writing argumentative compositions. Meanwhile, 12.2% and 57.8% of the learners experienced low and moderate level of second language writing apprehension. The result indicated that the sample as a whole obtained a relatively low score. Negative t-value indicated that the mean apprehension scores of the university learners were below the cut-off point 65. It could be concluded that the overall writing apprehension scores were significantly lower than the standard score. Analyzing the mean score of the three types of writing apprehension and individual items of the questionnaire demonstrated that the learner's writing apprehension was largely attributed to the avoidance behaviour, followed by cognitive and somatic anxiety. A close examination of the mean scores related to each writing apprehension dimension showed that the participants had moderate level of writing apprehension in these three dimensions. 70.9% of the pre-university learners scored well in their content. This indicates that having knowledge about the topic increases the learner's interest and promotes writing quality. Moreover, organization is also an important element in writing compositions. The findings revealed that 65% of the pre-university learners scored well for organizing argumentative competition with well-organized introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusions. The vocabulary domain tests the use of variety of dictions such as synonyms and antonyms, while language conventions means the grammatical and mechanical accuracy expected of any text and follows the rules of standard language. An achievement in these two areas indicated that the learners have mastered the effective language use in writing. The findings revealed that 27.5% of the pre-university learners scored excellently in vocabulary and 22.5% of the learners obtained excellent scores in language conventions. Finally, overall effectiveness refers to the writer's overall ability to present and justify arguments effectively through a correct, clear, and appropriate style while covering the task. In overall effectiveness, 17.2% and 42.5% of the learners obtained excellent and competent scores respectively. This indicated that most pre-university learners were able to defend a position on the topic using evidence from personal experience and literature to support their viewpoint. One sample t-test was used for testing the significance of difference between writing quality score and the mean score. The result indicated that the sample as a whole scored relatively low. Hence, the mean score of the writing quality displayed that most of the learners obtained modest levels in the argumentative composition. Based on the minimum and the maximum scores, further analysis was conducted to find out the overall writing quality of the pre-university learners. Pearson product moment correlation was used to determine the relationship between and individual writing apprehension dimension scores and writing quality scores. The result indicated somatic anxiety, cognitive anxiety, and behavioral avoidance were all negatively, moderately, and significantly associated with writing quality. Observed pattern on correlation showed that the strength of the correlation was higher in cognitive and somatic anxieties. Thus, it is obvious that writing quality is likely to suffer whenever the pre-university learner's attention is interfered with writing apprehension reactions. In this study, argumentative writing and analytic scale of argumentative writing scores were used to measure the second language learner's writing quality. In order to measure the direction and strength of relationship between the subscales of writing quality and second language writing apprehension, a correlation analysis was conducted. The results indicated content, organization, vocabulary, language convention, and overall effectiveness were all negatively, moderately, and significantly associated with writing apprehension. The strength of the correlation is higher in overall effectiveness than the other scales. Overall effectiveness assessed presentation of the task and the skill of structuring and justifying the arguments. In general, the results concluded that there is a moderate negative relationship between second language writing apprehension and writing quality subscales, which allows for the assumption that writing apprehension has the potential to influence writing quality of the pre-university learners. In order to determine whether there are differences between high and low apprehensive learners' writing quality, a t-test was conducted. The result showed that low apprehensive writers scored higher than the high apprehensive writers in argumentative writing. This showed that the low apprehensive writers produce better quality compositions than their high apprehensive counterparts. A comparison made between the high and low apprehensive writers revealed that high apprehensive writers were less able to develop their ideas effectively than their non-apprehensive counterparts. The findings indicated that high apprehensive writers experienced various difficulties ranging from finding solid evidence to support the main point and substituting their opinions for facts. The findings also revealed that the high apprehensive writers only make a number of claims, one of which may be insufficient or irrelevant. These findings correlate with the quantitative findings of the study, which revealed high apprehensive writers have less certainty and likely to diminish risk of exposure by revealing less about their views. On the other hand, with a weak structure and organization, high apprehensive writers were unable to develop their arguments logically with compelling progression of ideas. Ineffective transitions made them to write with irrelevant patterns of organization. In addition, they do not demonstrate effective, coherent, and unified relationship of ideas. These findings concluded that the high apprehensive writers have difficulty in understanding the organization of the tasks. This is due to underdeveloped writing skills, an expected consequence of behavior of avoidance, somatic and cognitive anxiety. The findings of vocabulary scale indicated that these high apprehensive writers were lack of proper words, but theirs as seen in the examples do not appear to cause problems with comprehension. However, vocabulary is the main barrier in writing compositions for the tertiary level learners. The interference of their mother tongue fail to comprehend the core vocabulary to be used in technical and scientific English communication. In light of the evidence from this research, it can be concluded that developing learners' vocabulary knowledge appears to be an integral feature of developing their argumentative writing quality. Appropriate language convention use in an argumentative composition serves as an important means to observe the language process of the second language learners. Language conventions defined as the writer's control over the syntactic and punctuation accuracy in a composition. In this section, sentence level grammatical errors were focused. The errors which were glaring in the high apprehensive writers' compositions caused ambiguous communication. High apprehensive writers need more improvement in English language proficiency and language use, especially general grammatical errors such as the use of verbs, nouns, and sentence structures, the most frequent errors made by the learners, to help them use better English to a more advanced level. Overall effectiveness is related to the word limit, the writer's ability to present and justify arguments effectively. The findings indicated that the low apprehensive writers write more than the high apprehensive writers. The low apprehensive writers wrote a total of 8,090 words with an average of 539 words per script. In contrast, the high apprehensive writers wrote a total of 4,600 words, which averaged of 306 words per script. This indicates that the low apprehensive writers wrote approximately twice as many sentences than the high apprehensive writers. The analysis of 30 scripts indicated that the low apprehensive writers wrote a total of 289 sentences with an average of 19 sentences per script. On the other hand, the high apprehensive writers wrote a total of 147 sentences with an average of 10 sentences per script. In the state of high apprehension, the pre-university learners were unable to develop their ideas critically. Therefore, they were unable to develop their argumentative composition successfully, when one's writing apprehension is low, one's writing quality would be better. The preceding discussion suggested that writing apprehension is an indicator that has an effect on the learner's competence in writing.